Hi guys, welcome. And this is the first module in business English course. Okay. Um, let's just understand very quickly that what exactly you need to understand when you're teaching business English. Okay. Always remember the points, although we are going to discuss a lot of it in detail, of course, in upcoming modules, but there is one thing that always needs to be taken care of, wherein a lot of people get confused and they completely fail to comprehend the fact that business English you're teaching not to kids. Okay, they are all working professionals and they've got their own demands, they've got their own expectations in place. Teaching them can be a bit challenging in comparison to anybody else, or in comparison to when you would teach normal English to anybody, people who are just trying to talk in English. It is not one of those. Teaching business English is about improvising a particular business in with the help of talking well in English, okay? Because probably these businesses are multinational, they are dealing with international clients, they're dealing with non-native speakers, and it gets really important to have a good command over English, and not just normal English, but business English. There are a lot of phrases. Uh, they can be phrases related to industry specific also, okay, that they need to know, including the dressing code, including the report creation or anything for that matter that comes in a business, how they can improvise. They're really looking forward to know that how this course, when you're teaching them, is going to help them in any way in order to grow in their career. So until your objective of teaching business English to somebody will be absolutely clear, that person will hardly be interested in learning it. Okay, because their only purpose behind learning this is to enhance their career. So the need and the expectation can be different from organization to organization. So you need to analyze a lot of it, which we'll discuss in upcoming modules, of course. But before we start this course, I would just wanted to discuss this. So let's just talk about features and components of business English. Okay, business vocabulary, as I said. Okay, so business vocabulary can be entirely different. An industry of business specific jargon. They can be absolute jargons which are specifically for business. Okay, business vocabulary enables individual to effectively communicate in a professional setting. Okay, so as I said, that every industry may have different vocabulary. Uh, and there are few phrases which are to be used in business industry specifically. So you need to keep in mind that they are not going to talk some normal English, okay, the way they talk, the way they construct normal sentences with everybody. Okay, there are few sentences, for an example, if I talk about smooth selling, the bottom line, okay, ballpark number, get down to the brass tacks, let's just get back to the business, get down to the business, overplay your hand. There are several, a win-win situation. So there are several phrases, guys, that are relevant to only business English. When somebody is dealing in business, okay, any kind of business, then people use such vocabulary. It just makes you sound more professional. And also in a lot of other places, other countries, these jargons, these words, these phrases are very normal to use. They use it in their day-to-day language. Okay, we being native speaker or anybody whose language is not English native, as native speaker, the person who doesn't speak English, it can be a problem for them. It can be something new for them. But for business, for English native speaker, these are some normal phrases that they use when they deal with people in business or at any workplace. Okay, there can be several industries like finance, marketing, human resources. Okay, and you may be required to teach business English to people here. So you need to really figure out that what's their business, what kind of business that they do, what's their job, and accordingly you need to choose relatively common words that are being that should be used while teaching them, so that it is going to help them in their business. Because you're not teaching them business English overall, you're teaching them so that they can grow in the industry that they are in, so that their job to deal with clients can become easy. Okay, having a strong business vocabulary allow company employees to express their ideas clearly, understand others, because most of the time they are dealing with multicultural people. Okay, so at times, if you don't have a very good vocabulary, first of all, it gets difficult to communicate, because what if that person says something and you're not able to understand, and you've got a lot of ideas, but you're just not able to express them at all. Okay, maybe it is meeting, maybe it is giving presentation, offline, online, whatever, or negotiating any deal. Same business communication skills. So you need to, first of all, emphasize on communication skills. You need to obviously see, which we will definitely study in the next modules, the analysis. Okay, but that's how it works. First of all, you need to see at what level they of communication that they are. Are they able to talk well, like normal communication? And then you need to enhance their communication as per their business, as per their industry specific business terminologies. Okay. So in a business context, communication skills are essential for building strong relationships, establishing credibility, conveying information accurately, resolving conflict, and achieving organizational goals. As I said, never forget, all in all that you're teaching should always fulfill organizational goal. So obviously, whenever you will join and you will teach somebody, you will be given with some organizational goal, as in where is it that the organization wants their employee to reach? What exactly are they looking forward as a result of your course? Okay. Therefore, business English curriculum should prioritize the development of communication skills relevant to job and industry specific needs. Okay. So you may have to ask them what's their nature of work, what do they do exactly? Then you need to figure out, all right, then probably related to that, you need to so with certain different activities, whether writing, whether role play, okay, you need to make them able to do that job more efficiently. So that, like, if their nature of business is talking to the client, so you need to figure out how is it, in what can context are they talking to the client, and how is it that you can make their job more easy and effective at the same time. Now comes the business etiquette, and it includes everything: your behavior, your body language, your posture, your dressing. You should know when you're meeting to a client, what is it that you should wear. Generally, when you are meeting somebody, what is it that you should wear? Your professional appearance, that matters. Cultural sensitivity, that matters, because you may be working with a lot of people who are from different cultures. Okay, cultural sensitivity is really important. Business ethics are really important. So this is also a part of when you're teaching business English. Okay, not just teaching them English as a language. Okay, it includes everything. That is why it is known as business English. These are the key of conducting successful negotiations, making persuasive presentations, and building strong business relationships. Okay, presentation comes in business writing, and that also matters. Presentation comes in business writing also, and I believe communication also, speaking also, because at the end you are presenting, that you will speak in front of the audience. Okay, so to build that confidence so that the person is able to talk. In addition, and business language program curriculum can also cover aspects such as personal branding, professional appearance, and overall grooming. Okay, applying these skills contribute to creating a positive impression. And you create that image of yours. And then comes business writing. So business writing includes proposals. If you need to write proposals for your client, for any business, writing resumes, writing any reports can be any report, can be related to business, related to team performance, anything. Okay. Or for that matter, email writing. Business writing often involves persuading others, whether it's to secure a deal, convincing stakeholders, or propose new ideas. Effective writing skill helps professional express their thoughts persuasively, leading to desired outcome. Okay, so writing also needs to be taken care of. These are all the components of business English. Then listening and comprehension. As I said, comprehending with what someone else is talking about. So they also need to understand each other's culture also. Apart from their own culture, they need to involve in someone else's culture as well. They need to understand them. Then they need, when they're listening to the other people who are native speakers, or speakers from several different part of the world, they need to understand that what this person is talking about. So their listening skills has to be very good. Okay, at times, this may happen that their job is to deal with clients over the phone, and they're receiving calls. And just because of the barrier of accent. They're not able to understand their accent really well. They know their job, they know everything, but they're not able to understand the accent, because of which they're not able to communicate better. So we need to give them practice about listening different accents also. Okay. And this all just differ from industry to industry, from person to person also. Okay, probably there is an industry wherein nobody is dealing over the call, so it's not needed. There can be somebody, any organization wherein people are dealing over the call, but probably this challenge is not there. Nobody is facing any challenge with accent. Okay, they may have challenges with writing reports, writing email, writing grammatically correct email, so that has to be taken care of. So it will all differ from organization to organization. A complete business English curriculum will incorporate active listening skills to help employees understand instructions, feedback, suggestions from the company team members. Okay, so business English includes listening, writing, speaking, presenting yourself professionally, everything. And then comes business negotiations, as I was talking about before. Okay, what if you need to, negotiate a deal? Then what will you do? In that case, business negotiation vocabulary comes into picture, like to bargain, bottom line, alternate, uh, to I think counter proposal, deadlock, higher ball. These are all the leverage. These are all the phrases or vocabulary that needs to be used while negotiating any deal. Let's start by having a look at the agenda. Okay, what's the agenda of this meeting today? Before we begin, shall we have a look at the main points of the agenda? All right, so in conclusion, we have reached to a point that we are negotiating that this deal at this. All right, let's just close the deal. Okay, it's a done deal. So all of these phrases, what is the next course of action? So all of these phrases are there which somebody will use while they are negotiating any deal. So English for Business should teach employee the vocabulary and strategies for conducting successful negotiations. This will help in sales. Including the art of negotiation in a business curriculum allows learners to practice and develop skills required for practical interactions. However, negotiating can be challenging and requires confidence. So by providing negotiations opportunities in curriculum, business English students can practice and gain confidence in their abilities. This will help in an industry, guys, wherein there's a lot of work of sales, because they mostly have to negotiate deals. Okay. So business negotiation is a different chapter altogether. Then comes the presentations, because ultimately, in order to expand businesses, you need to have funding, and for that you are presenting your business ideas to somebody. You're giving nice presentations, although these presentations can be about anything. Okay, but presentation is a very essential part of any business. Okay, that also needs to be included, so that somebody is able to give effective presentation, able to express themselves well. Okay, is able to have that confidence to deal with the audience in front and to keep them engaged also during the presentation. That's also a task. It's an overall development. Okay, that comes under public speaking skills and self-confidence skills. Then cultural awareness, as I was talking about, because business English, if somebody is learning, most of the time they are multinational companies who are dealing with multicultural people, and every culture everywhere is different. What if you need to exactly deal with them face to face? Okay, and you've got no clue about rest of the cultures. You are not even interested. You're not even trying to know them, and you're feeling bad and you're just uncomfortable, and you're making someone else also uncomfortable, that awkward feeling. Okay, so knowing others cultures are also, equally important in today's, because it's a globalized business. Okay, so you need to make them aware about rest of the cultures as well. There are few things that may be very offensive for us, but it's just very not natural for them, for some other cultures. Okay, so you need to really learn that. Then comes business grammar. Now, why business grammar? Okay, you can't teach them grammar from the beginning, of course. That's not possible, because grammar itself is a big, huge ocean. So if you start teaching grammar, it's going to be forever. But you need to really again analyze the need. Is there a need of grammar? Are they really stuck on grammar? Or probably you can include a bit of chapters of grammar, which are really important, which you think will be important in order to construct a sentence well. okay, and probably which will enhance their presentation skills or their writing skills. So you can include a few rules of grammar in your curriculum, or else you need to again analyze and see if the students are good with grammar in that organization, the learners are good with grammar or not. Do they need grammar brush up or not? Okay, how much grammar do they need? Do they have a problem in subject verb agreement for that matter? They're not just constructing the sentence really well. Okay, so you need to first of all analyze the need of grammar as well, that in which area probably they're confused in using. You've analyzed, and you've realized that they are confused in using past tense clearly. They are trying to tell an experience from the past and they're using present tense, or probably in present they're using past tense. You've analyzed as a trainer that yes, they are, I think, highly confused between tenses. So let's just brush up tenses for them. Let's just tell them that whenever you are discussing your past experiences and achievements, you need to exactly talk in simple past tense. And this is how a past tense is created. So probably you would want to give them some sort of exercise to learn for second and third form of verb, because a lot of people are confused. They know that yes, they should use second form, but they don't even know what is a second form of a particular word. So you need to deeply analyze all of these things. Okay, and then comes the reading. So you can't it cannot be an exception. You can't just leave reading part, because reading again is equally important. Everything goes hands in hand. Okay, so you need to encourage them to read a lot of, I think, not normal material, but some finance magazines, some business material, so that they are able to comprehend, and they are also developing their vocabulary, specific vocabulary related to business, and they are able to comprehend really well, because reading really helps. This helps students understand and interpret various type of business texts, emails, reports, memos, financial statements in English. So strong reading skills enable company employees to comprehend complex information. Okay, because business English is little complex in comparison to normal English. So when you're teaching them business English, you can't really ask them, in order to enhance their business, their reading skills, to just go and read any random storybooks. They need to really be specified. Read probably finance magazines, read any news and information or column related to business. Okay, or listen to BBC, listen to a lot of business news channels wherein they are telecasting some news in regards to business. Okay, because that's really going to be a different sort of vocabulary. Now comes the features. What are the features of business English? A tone is always formal, because you're dealing with professionals. Okay, clear and concise use of simple, clear, concise phrases to avoid misunderstandings and misinterpretation. Industry specific vocabulary. Okay, this I've already explained. Emphasis on writing, because writing business emails, reports, that are equally important. So these are all the features and components, guys. Next, we are going to understand who are the learners that you will get in business English course.